I don't know who told y'all this, but finding a job, it's not that easy. It don't work like that. And I know the cost of living is causing a lot of Americans to give up, but they think the first thing to do is try to find a job. Okay, you can try to find a job, but what if the job never call you back? I done been through situations like that for years. So now a job is gonna pinpoint and regulate your life because you can't find one. And then in times like this, everything is getting more expensive. Then it's like you can't afford to do anything with your life because you don't have a job because you're relying on a job. And in life, it just don't work like that. I don't know what they told y'all, but you're gonna be caught up in the same never-ending cycle. So as time goes on, just look at the people around you. They may have been working for 10 years, 15 years, 12 years, or whatever. Now, with their life, aren't they doing the same thing with their life 10, 12 years later? Some of y'all done been friends with somebody that been devoting their whole life, dedicating their life to that one job. All they talked about was that job. And then 10, 12 years later, the job laid them off. And now they back at square one. And then now they getting so depressed, mentally drained because the job that they devoted their life to just let them go. But in reality, they took it personal, which you should never take it personal because it's just business. It's nothing personal. And I know that sounds cliche because you're a human and you have feelings. But what I'm trying to say is that the job system, they don't care about you. They don't love you in these streets. So in reality, it's like you did all that just for them to let you go. And I know you shouldn't look at it like that, but you just got to put two and two together and just do the math because in reality, what was your outcome? What was you trying to do it for? Do you feel like you wasted your time punching that clock, or you feel like you did it for a purpose? So if you feel like you did it for a purpose and you're not wasting your time with your life, then this video is not for you. I'm talking to the people who want to get out, find a way out, because they feel like there's nowhere to go, nowhere to turn. Because in reality, it just don't work like that. People always tell you like find a job. And then when you find a job, the job don't even want to pay you like that. So jobs are really hard to come by. And people be thinking a job just gonna fall out the sky. If it was that easy, everybody be applying. But that's what tradition told you. That you're supposed to get a job and apply, live your life, and you're supposed to be happy. But they didn't say once you get the job, all the things that they told you was gonna be the opposite. That you never was gonna be happy, the pay was never gonna go up, and you feel like you just working, punching your clock for nothing. So in reality, I'm not saying just quit your job tomorrow. I know some of y'all got bills, y'all feel like, well, I got responsibilities, I got kids, and things like that. But with that being said, okay, you have responsibilities and you have kids and you got bills, but you're gonna always have bills, and your kids gonna get older. So when you work at your 9 to 5, is it enough to take care of your kids, or you just barely making ends meet? And then when it's time for you to spend time with your kids, you can't spend time because you gotta go to work. Just in general, even if you don't even have kids, you still gotta go to work. So when people be saying like, just go find a job that's gonna change your life, the hype is about nothing. So in reality, it's like, I know you've been feeling like there's nowhere to go, nowhere to turn. You just giving up hope. So what I want to tell y'all is that you're never supposed to give up hope, but there's nothing you can do. So in reality, I want y'all to just take a deep breath and think about it. Working your job, did it make you feel like you escaped life? Just let me know, because I'm waiting for an answer. So let me know in the comments. Like, A lot of people say they get what I'm saying, but they're not going to get what I'm saying because I was explaining the situation to my friend's uncle the other day. I kept talking to him about situations, so he's so caught up on working. So whatever I was explaining to him, he wouldn't understand it. He kept coming back with a defense about his job. He said, but when you working, you putting stuff away too, because you may work for 20, 30 years, then you got a 401k and things like that. So in reality, you waiting 20, 30 years for that little bit of money. So what happens in the meantime? So when the prices are getting higher, what's happening in the meantime? Because you waiting for that money from a job, but you won't wait for that money for your opportunity to be a self-made employer, to make way more than that. You probably can make that in a month. But you've been waiting for 30 years for, and it may take you 2 to 3 years to make that. It may take you 5, but you put the time in. Because I was watching this story, this very intelligent young lady. She said she was teaching people how to play the guitar or whatever. She said she started her YouTube channel. She still had a life. And so she didn't post every day. So she said she posted a video. It didn't even do nothing for 2 years. She said, my video didn't do nothing for 2 years, but I still went on with life. I still was posting. I was still consistent. I wasn't posting every day. But she said, but once my video took off in 2 years, I became a millionaire in 2 years. But if I would have never thought it would happen or was never disciplined to put the time in, I would have never been able to become a millionaire. So think about it. If you're working at your job, you're working 40 hours a week. You may be working 50 hours a week. Let's do the math. Now you working at your job. You may work overtime. The average person don't make 50,000. They probably make under that. But to be considered a high value human being in the United States, you have to make like 100,000 or more. And a lot of Americans are not making 100,000. So if you make 100,000, you probably work overtime. Now if you don't work overtime or you make 100,000 or 150,000, that's impressive in the job world. But in the business world, it's not nothing. But I'm not knocking you, but you're doing good in the job world, the traditional job world. But think about it. If you work for 2 years, like the lady said, she started her own business, her own channel or whatever she wanted to do, selling product because she had product. And she became a millionaire in 2 years. You think when she did her job and she didn't start or didn't take a chance on herself and was willing to put the work in, even if it didn't work the first 2 years, do you think that working her job, she would have been a millionaire in 2 years? Do the math. You may get 50,000 a year. You may get 100,000 a year. A lot of us getting under that. So it's just like, just do the math. You're not gonna make close to $1 million. And then you got bills in your life. So in reality, you got bills in your life. So if you got car insurance and bills and situations like that, you ain't gonna even get to see all the money. Plus, when they take taxes out, it's not gonna be even the full amount you get paid for the whole year. So just think about it. So it's like you've been lied to. And I know it's sad to say, but in reality, you listen to what everybody else was telling you. So I don't knock you for it because you didn't know. I didn't know. But I'm trying to wake up. I'm trying to wake y'all up. So if y'all don't want to be woke up and y'all always got some rebuttal or don't want to believe nothing I say, then power to you. Just live your life so it'll start to hit you eventually. If it don't hit you yet, it's all good. I still got love for you. But this is for my people who wants to do the math and look at situations like it's not adding up. So in reality, if it's not adding up, it's not adding up. So that's what I want y'all to think about, because it just don't work like that. And then let me talk about trying to find a job. I've been through years of my life trying to find a job. Jobs don't want to call you back. Sometimes you might have to take a job that you overqualified for because you got to get in where you fit in. A lot of people went to college. They got degrees. Majority, more than half of them probably don't even have jobs in the degrees in they field. That they degree that they took. They had to just go get in where they fit in at. So in reality, it's like, what can you do? So if you can't do anything, you got to get in where you fit in. I'm sorry to say that, because this don't seem like life, but it is life. So that's why it's like, I'm trying to tell y'all before y'all go out there and just look crazy, because people act like a job is easy. Finding a job is easy. It's never easy. And it may take you a minute. Some jobs it took you a year to get in. Some jobs it take you 2 years to get in. But when COVID hit, jobs was easy because wasn't nobody working. So if you was trying to find a job before COVID, it was difficult because it don't work like that. And that's why Americans are giving up, because it don't work like that. Because they tell you find a job, but finding a job is not easy as you think. Think about it. It may take you years to get in your company. And then once you get in your company, you happy because now you got some steady income coming in. But you never had time to work on yourself because it don't work like that. Because they programmed you to believe it doesn't work like that. And it's just designed to keep you coming back. So in reality, I had to just change my mindset. So this still can apply to you if you still have a job and you want to get out. That's what you got to do. Keep a positive mindset and just know that it's not going to be easy, but stay dedicated. So you got to execute the process. So what I be saying is that I respect your wishes. I'm not going to judge you. If you quit your job, I'm not going to call you stupid, because in reality, you see something I don't. You see what I'm saying? I don't know your vision. You might be about to do something that's going to change the world, for all I know. So who am I to judge you? And that's all I be saying, because the cost of living has been expensive. Walmart been going up. Everything been going up. And they always find an excuse to mark the prices up. That's why Americans are just giving up, because the cost of living. But it doesn't work like that. You know how people say, oh, why don't you just get a job, get a job? Okay, you could apply for thousands of applications and then only one call you back. But you know how long it took you to apply for those thousands of applications? It could have took you months, probably your whole lifetime. And then just think about it. And then once you get there on a job, it ain't what you thought it would be. You feel like you're getting used. And this just speaking out. So I'm not saying a 9 to 5 is a bad thing, but what I'm saying is that you just got to figure out a way out. If you don't see that, then you ain't going to understand what I'm saying. It's like I'm speaking another language to you. Because when I talk to my friends, uncle, he couldn't see nothing I was saying. So you know how some people just be like, they don't get it. If you ain't on that mindset, it's nothing for you to get. Because you're never going to get it. It's going to never make sense to you. So you know how some people, it's just like, you could tell them something and people just going to believe what they want to believe anyway. Because their minds, they're so scared, they don't want to get out. They're so scared to get out. So in reality, people going to believe what they want to believe. So that's my message on that situation. Finding a job is really not that easy. And then, once you get the job, they treat you like you're garbage. And then they don't treat you right. And then you don't get paid right. And then they don't care that you got a family. Then they'll fire you. So who want to sign up for that? Then it's the same thing over and over. You think once you get a job at somewhere else, it's gonna be better. It sounds like it get worse. Only thing getting worse now is the cost of living. So in reality, stay strong and keep going. So that's my take on the situation. I'm gonna talk to y'all in a minute. Peace.